If I had to start FP&A from scratch in 2026, this is the exact roadmap I would follow. No wasted years, no random certifications. Hi, my name is Asif Masani and I run the FP&A Professionals Institute. I have trained thousands of analysts and I have myself made every single mistake in my FP&A career at least once. Most people build the FP&A skills in the wrong order. They learn Power BI before understanding the basics of P&L, and then they wonder why the CFO never calls them into the room. This is the truth, and I learned it the hard way. In accounting, being right is the job, but in FP&A, being right is worthless if you are late or unclear. In this video, I will walk you through the 7-step roadmap that you can follow to make a successful career in FP&A. So let's get started. Step number one is learning the accounting fundamentals. You cannot do FP&A effectively without understanding the basics of accounting. I have seen so many analysts with beautiful dashboards get destroyed by one follow up question from the CFO. You need to learn these three areas. First, start with understanding the debits and credits, which is the ABCs of accounting. Second, learn the accounting flow, starting from the journal entries to ledger posting and then preparation of the trial balance. And then how do you create the three financial statements, the income statement, balance sheet, and the cash flow statements from the trial balance. Third and finally, understand key accounting concepts like what is the difference between accruals versus prepaid, capex versus opex, and depreciation versus amortization. Even if you get these fundamentals right, accounting becomes much easier to learn. You don't need a CA or a CPA, but you do need fluency and the ability to look at a journal entry and know which P&L line or the balance sheet line it moves based on your conversation. I come from an accounting background and that gives me an edge because I understand how the data is built before I start doing my forecast. Now, most FP&A work ties directly to a three statement financial model. If you don't understand how these statements connect, your forecast will eventually break. Here is a practical test. Can you explain why the revenue went up but the cash went down? If not, then you need to seriously work on your accounting basics. Accounting alone won't get you hired. What you need also is the tool that is almost used by every FP&A team. Step number two is learning Microsoft Excel. Now, every CV that I see says that I know advanced Excel, but none of them actually mean it. Most people use Excel like a glorified calculator. So, here are the 5 advanced Excel skills that actually matter in FP&A. Lookup functions like XLOOKUP, index match, and SUMIFs. Knowledge of dynamic arrays. Power query so that you stop cleaning the data manually. Scenario logic with the index and choose function. And finally, proper structure, which is the inputs, calculations, and the outputs. I have spent years hard coding numbers into a spreadsheet that broke the moment somebody inserted a new row. That was manual labor and not Excel. Power Query today alone replaces hours of repetitive work I used to earlier do manually every month. Now, Excel gets you to the senior analyst, but to go higher in FP&A, you need something else. A quick note, if you want a structured, globally recognized path to build these exact skills, the CGFP certification by FP&A Professionals Institute is designed specifically for professionals making this transition. Links are in the description. Coming back to the video, step number three is learning a business intelligence or a data visualization tool. Now, every company in 2026 is drowning in data. Excel also breaks at million plus rows. Files crash, sometimes refresh time scrolls, and the CFO doesn't want a spreadsheet anyway. They want a dashboard that updates by itself. So pick up one BI tool and then go deep. Power BI is my favorite because the job market loves it and it's everywhere. You need to learn these 4 skills. Data modeling, where you connect the tables properly. DAX measures, where the real intelligence lives. Dashboard design, because the ugly dashboard doesn't get read. And you need one alternative tool like Tableau so that you can switch when needed. I have waited too long to learn the BI tools, thinking Excel was enough. and that costed me opportunities at larger companies. It is not about just making pretty charts, it is about handling data volume that modern businesses actually generate. So if this roadmap is helping you so far, hit the like and subscribe button. I release one FP&A video every week. Now let's get back to the next step, where FP&A separates itself from everything else. Step number 4 is learning financial modeling. Financial modeling is where FP&A separates itself from accounting on one side and from pure data analytics on the other. Most so-called financial models I review are just colored Excel sheets. There is no logic, no drivers, and no way to ask what if. They calculate, but they don't decide. So here are the 6 skills to master in financial modeling for FP&A. First, the three statement financial model where the P&L, balance sheet and the cash flow statement tie up together. Second, the driver based modeling where revenue isn't just a number, it is based on real business drivers. Third, rolling forecast, so the business always sees at least 12 months ahead. Fourth, sensitivity analysis tables. Fifth, scenario analysis, so that you can answer what if questions to the CFO. The first model that I built for a client was all hard coded numbers. Then the CFO asked one what if questions and I had nothing to answer. I rebuilt it with drivers that night and never made that same mistake again. Driver based thinking is the real unlock. It forces you to understand what actually moves the business instead of just extrapolating last month's numbers. But numbers don't run the business. People run the business. That brings me to step number 5, understanding the business. The best FP&A analyst I have ever worked with, they knew the business better than people running it. If you sit at your desk and stare at Excel files all day, your variance commentaries then read like a weather report. Revenue was down mainly because the revenue was down. Get out of the chair, sit with sales for a day and watch how deals actually close. Walk the warehouse and see where inventory really sits. Spend an hour at the deal desk. Understand discounting dynamics. Learn unit economics, what it costs to acquire a new customer, what one customer is worth, and when they break even. Map the cross functional flow, order to cash, procurement to pay. Once you've done this, your forecast stops being a spreadsheet and starts telling a story. I have spent the first year in FP&A guessing variance explanations. The moment I started sitting in sales meetings, my commentary became more useful and the CFO started forwarding my emails. That story you now have, it has to be told properly, which brings us to the next step that most FP&A analysts never reach. Step number 6 is communications and storytelling. This is what separates analysts from business partners, and this is what gets you into the CFO's office. Remember the core shift? In accounting, being right was enough, but in FP&A, right is worthless if you are late or unclear. I have watched so many analysts get passed because they couldn't write a clean executive summary. You need to build these 6 communication skills. Number 1, storytelling with data where every chart has a headline and a key takeaway. Second, build executive summaries with 3 bullets at the top and details underneath. Third, build CFO ready narratives where you can explain the so what and not only the what. Fourth, influencing without authority, because in FP&A you have no team but need everyone's cooperation. Fifth, delivering bad news calmly with a recommendation and not a panic. And finally, the sixth, add a star method for reviews and interviews. I once delivered a perfectly accurate forecast, but it was 3 days late. The CFO had already made the decision without my numbers. That day, I learned that 80% accuracy on time beats 100% accuracy a week late most of the time. Your analysis can be perfect, but if it doesn't land, or if the slide is a wall of text, if your voice shakes when the board is asking a question, it doesn't count. So master this step and you stop being the analyst who only pulls the numbers and you become the analyst who the CFO asks for by name. Now, once you can explain the numbers clearly, there is one final step that can make you 10 times faster and more productive. This is the step that most finance professionals are still ignoring. Step number 7 is AI for finance and FP&A. Now, once you understand accounting, Excel, BI, financial modeling, business understanding, and communication, there is one final step that you cannot ignore in 2026. That is artificial intelligence. But remember, AI is not a replacement for your FP&A fundamentals. It is a multiplier. Learning AI tools like ChatGPT, Claude, Microsoft Copilot, Gemini, and Manus AI can help you work faster. But remember that they cannot think for your business on your behalf. If your accounting is weak, the AI will help you make the wrong analysis faster. If your business understanding is weak, AI will help you create polished but user's commentary. But if your fundamentals are strong, then AI can make you dramatically more valuable. The future of FP&A is not the person who only knows Excel. It will be the person who understands finance, business, storytelling, and the AI workflows. If you want to go deeper with templates, models, practical exercises, and live mentorship, check out CGFPA, the Certified Global FP&A Professional Certification from FP&A Professionals Institute. The links are in the description. Your homework is simple. Audit yourself against these 10 steps. Find your weakest area and then spend the next 1 month improving it before you move to the next step. Most people watch career advice and do nothing with it. Don't be that person. Take action today. Drop one question in the comments about which step are you stuck at. I read every single one of them. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.